Hi, it's Rudy. And this is the Stanley Parable. Now, I know nothing about this game. It's a complete blind look. I'm doing this for my buddy Scythian, so I hope you enjoy. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never... So I don't know anything about this game, but there is a serious loop on the beginning of it of just people in an office talking. And if you sit there for too long, fiddling with your knobs, it drives you a little crazy.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, all right, here we go. And I'm Stanley. Can I not... Am I still supposed to just do what the guy says? Okay, he said I stepped out of the office, I step out of the office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
What? Oh no. Is this the meeting room? I guess it's open. Okay. That stuff Stanley was doing is a lot like Severance. You guys see that? It's on one of the Fruit channel.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He entered the door on his left. No, he didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Interesting. Okay, so I diverged.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
That's hilarious. Well, there was an open door. I just wanted to have a peek. And the doors keep closing behind me. Stanley, where are we going?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Her who? Man, if you're only gonna give me one door, what am I gonna... Well, I don't think I want to go in there. Alright. Well, let's go in there. Let's see what's up.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your...
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No, man, I'm not going in there.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh. Alright. It's fine. Well...
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Press 9 on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
What if I don't press these buttons?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'm not going to press it. I'm not going to do it. I don't like the way this guy's talking about me. Maybe I should have listened to him in the beginning. Hey, that's on me. You know, maybe I should have just followed orders, just blindly trudged along like a good little drone and just like kept my head down and, you know, eat shit, you know? But I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to do it. If you want to see me press F, you better just stop watching now, because I'm not going to press it. I'm not going to press F. Don't make me do it. I'll press a different number. How about E? How about space? Okay, they may have me. I don't think I can just wait. What do you think I should do? Should I press it?
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
I can't believe I pressed it.
And each day that he returned to work,
I'm kind of disappointed in
was a reminder
myself.
that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Except for my
So he went
Wife.
further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to believe.
I get it. He's mocking me now. You're mocking me. Yep, we'll just
As he
prepare
wandered
dinner.
through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Oh, I want to go
Down
there.
another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It
Tell
was
my
such
kids
a
a story.
wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I can hear that clock now.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this.
Yeah.
That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Now, wait. Now, this is like one of those situations where you're like, we are all individuals, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, now he told me to press the button, not to press the button. So if I don't press the button, then am I listening to him or am I not listening to him by pressing the button? The added clock noise doesn't help. It's like the foul beating of that heart. I haven't pressed it. But I think the issue might be that nothing will happen unless I press the button. And I'm getting further and further back into my office.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
What time is it before?
I suppose I can't.
I will blindly question
But
nothing.
I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What? What happened? Oh, the end is never the end, is never the end. Okay, so now am I supposed to do what he asked me to do? I guess we saw what was down the other path.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah.
What could it mean?
What could
Stanley
it mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's go to the meeting room and we'll listen to Sneaky Pete here, or whatever his name is. Let's go, Sneaky Pete. Awaiting input. Aren't we all? I'm going. There really is no one here. It's
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
alrighty. That's what Stanley did. Because Stan the man is the man.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Complete today's unfinished agenda items. What? New coffee machine. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergisting guy. Who moved my desk? Oh, this is changing too. Everyone is unique, you most of all. You're the most unique. Rate at which the charts on the same slide depict the same information. Graphs. Bi-quarterly post review. We need less reviews. Death sport portion in the primary review schedule. More water coolers and more water cooler heaters. Yeah, charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographics. Okay. Yep. What's this say? Throw something in the bin. No more bin trash cans. Ideas. A bin. Okay, teenagers. There's a lot of them. Well, this is just really productive looking. Oh shit.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Give me the broom. Okay. Alright, fine. Doing what the dude said.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Just want to have a peek what's downstairs. Is it more stairs? Creepy red lights.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Yes.
No, Stanley said to himself.
Yes.
This is all too strange.
They're definitely repeating.
At last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, neat.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And when he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Yeah, explain that voice.
Was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
What is happening?
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Right. The end is never the end is never the end. Okay, Stanley. We're gonna be a good boy.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Gone.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Is it raining now? Oh, the lights are on. Other doors are open. Interesting. It was like dark in some of those rooms, wasn't it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right, okay, so let's do whatever he says this time. We tried thinking for ourselves. Look how that turned out. Dead on a sidewalk.
Yet there was not a single
Tips for
person
knitting,
there either.
getting fired.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do exceptional work every day with no expectation of...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Not allowed to use the executive bathroom. That makes sense. Okay. Sherry or Terry or whatever her name is not in. Business Time magazine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What? Okay, I should have done this from the beginning. He's right. This is way better than getting stuck in a basement or... I'm just standing in the corner. Okay, it's not the Blair Witch. It's cool. Let's get in there then. Oh. Oh. This isn't the end. It's just loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
And get back on track.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Whoa.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Can I get out of the way? You can't jump.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh, okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. Oh, the office layout. Oh, that's neat. Oh, yeah. No? Okay. Button sounds. That's hilarious. Credits and stuff. Office computers. Oh, different types of boss offices. That's neat. Office clock. Super creepy. Mind control facility. Am I back in the... I can't hear it anymore.
Stanley pushed the number 6.
That's really neat. This is awesome. Cool design, guys. I wish there was a run. Alright, there must be a place to die? What? Countdown desk. That's not where I came in. Weird. Office, yeah. Okay, I think we got... Wait, is there anything... Are these different desks? Oh, they are. I haven't seen any of the different desks. Are they just concept ideas? And then I guess we have to go here and do it again, right?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Two? You mean you and me?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
I can't see a thing.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Okay. I think that was Dead Stanley again. And then... Okay, hang on. Let's try that one more time. I should have waited. The end is never the end is never the end. I should have waited in the dark there. Shoot. I don't know.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, because now is all the things that I've done not unlocked? He hasn't said anything to me yet. No input this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, this time we'll go to mind control, although I have a feeling it's going to be a problem.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office hoping he might... Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Right. No boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. But anxiety persisted, so he relaxed for a few moments with some New Age music.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, man. All right. You're right. I was impatient. I apologize. I apologize, viewer. He's doing a great job.
Soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Right. Okay. But isn't this... Can we just go back to the museum here? Oh no, there's some secret down here. Oh, mind control.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I guess I do. Because the other options we already checked out. So let's see what else we can do.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
Here we are, 427.
Manipulated to accept it blindly?
I mean, yes.
No.
What?
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone
Well,
else's control? Never.
I think
It was
Stanley's just
unthinkable.
lying to himself.
Wasn't
then.
it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Well, now that we're here... How would Stanley do that, narrator? Okay, buttons do nothing. What's down here? A dance floor? Somebody's gonna trip on those stairs. I didn't see 3 and 4. Oh, look at this.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Right.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I am thinking
But
that.
as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now.
And this is like the Blade Runner
things were
ending.
meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Where you're like, they're flying away and you're like, is this the end? Beat the game, in quotation marks. The end is never the end, is never the end. Okay. Oh,
All of his co-workers were gone.
It's different.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
it's a different office. But that's not.
Stanley
That's
came
the
to a
same.
set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Now, I wonder if because it's a different office, if there's a different thing down the right door, or if we just end up running through the basement.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's the same. Yeah, how did we get the female narrator? I feel like that's something different that I did. There were computers to click this time.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Please.
Thank you. It's because I was impatient last time, probably. I don't know about this game, man. Like, I might have made a mistake by starting over. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
It's a surveillance place for from your bosses. They're watching you work like creepos.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Oh, wait a minute.
It was unthinkable.
Could I have accepted it if I turned around and went back?
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Interesting. I bet you I could.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Right. So I don't remember that gate being there before. Oh, I think I opened it. Okay, so this is obviously something I missed. So, how many hidden puzzles? Oh, 4. Where's 3? One, 4, 2, 1. 0, 5, 2. Oh, look at that. Where's 0? And did the zeros matter? Well, probably not. 0, 5, 2, 1. So, big red button. I didn't see this big red button before. Okay, so let's try 5. Two, 1. I feel like I'm missing a 0. That doesn't react like a button at all. Oh, there's 3. Oh. Okay, so let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 then. I wonder what this does. I don't see any other codes on the wall, though. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. That didn't do anything. I see 5, 2, 1 more than once. So, what are we thinking is O then? Well, maybe there's something down there. That's true. We never did go down on the dance floor. That doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's try. And that door over there, I really want to see what's up. I don't know. Let's try 142. Maybe we did that, didn't we? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments. That'll be too late by then. Alright, let's go turn this thing on instead of off then. See what's up. Maybe if I power it up, something will happen.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode.
You're bluffing.
The entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
I don't believe you.
This is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
You think you can scare me?
Time to talk about you.
I'm a crazy guy on the street,
Where we're going.
wandering around in a basement in his head.
Where to start?
You can't scare me.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
Oh, man.
But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next
This
go
music,
around
though,
will
man.
be even better.
I'm jamming over here in my seat.
Only 34 seconds left.
Take all the time you
I'm
want.
enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Oh, wow.
Numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved?
Ah, crap.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Humble?
It's not a challenge.
Man, I sat there dancing to that music for the first, like, however long.
Fine. But I'm going to destroy it first,
Oh.
so you can't.
Okay.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke.
What did I do?
I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
What? Oh, he wasn't bluffing. I'm back in the original office again. Is that because I died this time?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally.
Oh, man.
This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Oh, man, how many endings are there for this thing? And is there like a different... Is there a different ending if I like do the happy ending and then I continue and I go and I do a different ending? This is crazy. Stanley Parable.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm only going this way again because I don't think that there's any other... I don't think there's anything the other way.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I keep hoping there's going to be something different. Hey, okay, that's different. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay, I don't know if I would eat money crisp. Sounds dirty. But I would definitely buy those boxes and just spend them at large. We never did go behind the desk before. Could you go behind the desk before? Huh. Why are we shooting pandas? There's an elevator this time. Yeah, so this is the Stanley Parable. Is Stanley singing? Or is it the narrator? Might be the narrator. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I've been enjoying this. It's weird, and there's a lot of choices, and I feel like I'm missing everything. So I found a few things, but I think I might wrap it up after whatever happens in this elevator. No, hang on. This is all it is, isn't it? I'm just in here listening to the music. Yeah. I mean, I love this song, but I really feel like this is a bluff. Like I'm just in here doing nothing. I don't.
Here's the door, just go.
was trying to... There we go. What? How did I hit the 7? Man, I messed it up. It's because there's no cursor. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious as
Stanley
to...
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right. He did do that.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
That door is closed.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Right. Looks like that door is still closed. I'm not sure I can turn around and say no, but I'm just curious.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Door's still closed. Can I? No. There's no option to go back, so you just have to...
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the control... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yes.
Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave.
I saw that ending already.
Story off track. You're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode,
Okay.
eliminating the entire complex.
Let's do it.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star.
It won't let me go through that door.
Now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly.
Re-enter passcode. Oh, shoot. There's a passcode on these monitors, I
think.
think.
To the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a
So,
crisp.
red button.
I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing.
Green button.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
I'm starting to think maybe they don't do anything.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going?
Well, yellow was one.
Right now. Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
30 seconds. I don't think I'm going to make it.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Green is what?
Buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something.
Yellow, green, red.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me in the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Yeah, okay.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Okay, so there is definitely something there. Yellow, green, red, blue, maybe. And the end is never the end. But this is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the Stanley Parable, you can thank my friend Scythian. He's on hiatus right now as he's dealing with some Ukrainian war business. If you like the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And I'll see you guys next time.